A very good morning to all my dear students and welcome to Online Benchers SSC YouTube channel by Exampur. I request you all to please quickly connect with me so that I can start the proceedings for today. A very good morning to all. Most welcome to the class. Most welcome to the session. And I request you all to please quickly join with me. All of you. Those people who are live on the class, live on the session, please do reply to me and please do respond to me. How are you all? This is just the beginning of our current affairs series on SSC channel, and this is completely in English medium. So I request you all to share this session with all your friends, especially those people who are preparing for the SSC examination, railway examination, NTPC and other one-day examinations in English medium. So this is going to completely benefit them if they are preparing in the English medium. So first of all, those who are live on the class, live on the session, please do respond to me and please do reply to me as quickly as possible so that I can start the proceedings for today. Everyone. Okay. So this is Express 365 current affairs for SSC for the 22nd of June. And this is completely going to be in the English medium. Jai Hind Deepika, welcome to the class, welcome to the session. I know very few people basically come to watch these sessions, especially when you deliver in the English language. But still, I will try to make this session popular among you all. But it is not possible unless until you people don't support it. So it's a request to all of you. If possible, please try to promote these sessions and try to share this session with your friends, especially those people who are preparing for the competitive exams in the English medium. Okay. So let's begin with the first news of today. The government of India has appointed Ashish Chandorkar as the director at the India's WTO mission. The most important news behind this important appointment is that this Ashish Chandorkar, who has been appointed by the government of India as the director at the India's WTO mission, he comes from a non-government agency. He is a private individual who has been directly elevated to this particular post. That is why it is much in news. Ashish Chandorkar, director at India's WTO mission. Remember one thing, ahead of the WTO ministerial conference in 2021, the government of India has appointed a private person, Ashish Chandorkar, as a counselor in India's permanent mission in WTO for 3 years. So this person, Ashish Chandorkar, is in news because he is a private individual. He is not a government recruit. He is not an individual who has cleared any of the government examination. He is a private person, Ashish Chandorkar, who has been appointed as a counselor in India's permanent mission in the WTO. What is WTO? World Trade Organization, which makes the policy, which makes the laws just in order to provide competitiveness in the international trade. And for the very first time, a private person has been appointed as at this particular mission, Ashish Chandorkar. Please don't forget his name. This Ashish Chandorkar currently heads the India consulting arm of a global technology firm. He is also a co-founder of SMAHI Foundation of Public Policy and Research, which focuses on the intersection of entrepreneurship, governance and technology. He runs his own private firm and he's a co-founder of SMAHI Foundation of Public Policy and Research. And this SMAHI Foundation of Public Policy and Research basically focuses on the intersection of entrepreneurship, governance and technology. It means it gives the ideology, it gives the policies, it makes the, you can say, guidelines just in order to develop the entrepreneurship, just in order to fulfill the governance and just in order to implement the technology. This Ashish Chandorkar, a management consultant with an experience of over 21 years, has worked in global firms heading businesses and technology transformation projects for the clients across geographies and industries. Now remember one thing. This Ashish Chandorkar, who is a management consultant who is having the experience of more than 21 years, he has been handling, you can say, multinational firms. He has been handling the work of, you can say, business head. He has worked as a technology consultant, technology transformation projects. He has held all these important portfolios in the multinational companies, and because of his vast experience of 21 years of leading the global firms, heading the global firms in promoting their business, leading the global companies in the transformation of their technological projects, this Ashish Chandorkar, who for the very first time from a private background has been appointed as the WTO director, as a counselor in India's permanent mission in WTO for the coming 3 years. Ashish Chandorkar. Am I clear to you? And remember one thing, WTO, World Trade Organization, this came into existence on 1st January 1995 after dissolving GATT. So when the General Agreements on Tariffs and Trade, it was dissolved, the WTO came into existence on 1st January 1995, and India has been the founding member of the WTO. And this WTO is basically headquartered at which place? You will say Geneva. This is in Geneva. That is in Switzerland. All clear, all done. Do you have any doubt, any query? You can simply ask it to me. All of you, please respond to me. 1st January 1995. This was the day for the foundation of which one? You can say World Trade Organization. And this is headquartered at which place? You can say Geneva. All clear, all done. Now, the summer solstice in Northern Hemisphere. Remember one thing, 21st June and 22nd December is known for the solstice. Solstice means when sun is still. When sun is still on North Pole in Northern Hemisphere. So whenever you read the word solstice, that means longer day and shorter nights. So whenever the word, and there is another incident that is called equinox, 21st March and 23rd September. Equinox means equal day and night. That is called as the equinox. So remember these two phenomena. So remember one thing, it is believed that from the 21st June onwards, the position of the sun from the northern hemisphere, it starts moving toward the southern hemisphere. So remember one thing, on 21st of June, we observe longest day in the northern hemisphere, and on 22nd December, we observe the longest day in the southern hemisphere. Remember one thing, on June 21, in the northern hemisphere has observed the longest day of 2021, which is also another summer solstice. This day marks the beginning of the summer solstice in the north, which brings in the first longest day of the summer and the shortest night in the northern hemisphere. The summer solstice is a phenomena that occurs when the sun is directly over the Tropic of Cancer in the north latitude. So when will the summer solstice take place? When the rays of the sun are vertical on the Tropic of Cancer. Please do remember, when the rays of the sun, and this is vertical on the Tropic of Cancer only in a condition or only in a situation when the position of sun is exactly on the northern hemisphere or in the north pole. So when sun becomes still, when sun becomes static on the north pole, it radiates its light, or it radiates its rays directly onto the, which one? You can say Tropic of Cancer. So when the rays of the sun are vertical on Tropic of Cancer, it is summer solstice, and when the rays of the sun are vertical over the Tropic of Capricorn, it becomes winter solstice, and that takes place on 22nd of December. When North Pole is tilted more towards the sun, the northern hemisphere experiences the summer solstice during the months between March as well as September. The day of the beginning of the summer solstice can vary by a day or two. Is that clear to everybody? Please do remember that. So summer solstice is observed on 21st of June and the winter solstice is observed on 22nd of December. The only difference is that when the position of the sun or the rays of the sun is vertical on Tropic of Cancer, it is summer solstice, and when it is vertical on Tropic of Capricorn, it becomes the winter solstice. Am I clear to you all? If you have any problem, any doubt, you can simply ask me. All of you, please respond to me. Please reply to me very quickly. Everybody, all clear, all done? Any doubt, any question, any query? You can simply ask me. Okay. The next important news for today is that the Tribal Affairs Ministry and NCRT has partnered together for the Nishtha. Now the question is that what is Nishtha? Let's discuss about this. The Tribal Affairs Ministry along with the NCRT have joined their hands together with the objective of fulfilling vision of ministry to achieve academic excellence in the Eklavya Model Residential School. Have you heard of Eklavya Model Residential School? These Eklavya Model Residential Schools are being constructed in the different parts of the country so that the marginalized section of our society, especially those who belong to the SC/ST category, shall be given the proper education. So in order to achieve academic excellence in the Eklavya Model Residential Schools, the Tribal Ministry has partnered with the NCRT. This partnership also aims to achieve excellence among 120 Eklavya Model Residential Schools teachers and principals of 3 states which completed 40 days NISTA program. What is NISTA? NISTA stands for National Initiative for School Heads. National Initiative for School Heads and Teachers Holistic Advancement Program. It is a national flagship program of the NCRT. So in order to develop the good teaching skills among the teachers, this NISTA, which is a 40 days program, initiated by the NCRT. So NISTA stands for National Initiative for School Heads and Teachers Holistic Advanced Program. It's a national flagship program of the NCRT. This is a capacity building program which has been launched with the objective of building competencies among teachers and school principals. It seeks to improve the quality of school education through integrated teacher training. You see, it is believed that most of the teachers who are basically teaching in the government schools, who are basically teaching in the primary and secondary level, they are not having much improved quality or proper training so that they can guide their students properly. So in order to improve the quality of school education, the integrated teacher training program is being provided under the flagship program Nishtha, which has been the initiative of the NCRT. And for this time, the Tribal Affairs Ministry has partnered with the NCRT in order to implement the Nishtha program in the Eklavya Model Residential Schools. And these Eklavya Model Residential Schools have been set up in order to improve and in order to provide basic educations, the primary educations, and to educate especially the children of those communities who belong to the SC as well as the ST community. This program will be conducted across 350 functional Eklavya Model Residential Schools in India. So remember one thing, if the question comes, how many Eklavya Model Residential Schools are functional in India, so you will say it is 350. It is how much? 350. Am I clear to you all? Do you have any problem, any doubt, any query? You can simply ask it to me. Everybody. Please reply to me, each one of you. No problem, no doubt. Okay. The Chile, which is a South American country, has come up with a new draft of the new constitution. This is going to draft a new constitution for their country. Remember one thing, according to the Chilean president, Sebastian Pinera. Now this question will become important for this year's exam. Who is the president of the Chile? You will say it's the Sebastian Pinera. the Chilean assembly is set to draft a new constitution for the country, which will replace the one inherited from dictatorship of Augusto Pinochet. Its first session will be held on July 4. Remember one thing, till now, the constitution that was functional in the country of Chile was basically drafted during the tenure of one of the greatest dictator of this world, Augusto Pinochet. So this question will also become important. Augusto Pinochet, who was a dictator, belonged to which of the following countries of the world? You will say he belonged to the Chile. ठीक है ना? And remember one thing, this inherited constitution from the period of Augusto Pinochet is likely to be replaced and a new constitution is to be drafted by the Parliament of the Chile under the guidance of the President Sebastián Pinera. So remember one thing, Sebastián Pinera will be holding the first session on July 4th. The constitution will be rewritten following a broad political consensus which was agreed to after violent social protest of 2019 against inequality in Chile. So this constitution will be rewritten when a political consensus was agreed after a social violent protest of 2019 against inequality in Chile. A referendum was held which got the favor of 78% of the Chilean on 25th of October 2020. Now this decision to draft a new constitution for Chile has been approved through a referendum. Referendum simply means that when you go to the public for their opinion over a draft or over a resolution or over a bill. So it is through the referendum in which 78% of the citizen of the Chile has favored that the Chilean constitution needs to be replaced. The convention represents a great opportunity to achieve new constitution, and it will be recognized and respected by all Chileans under the framework of unity and stability towards the future democracy. So remember one thing, this step of rewriting the constitution has been taken into consideration after a referendum for the change of the constitution was approved by 78% of the Chilean in favor. And this condition basically erupted when a violent social protest happened against the inequality in Chile in 2019. The Constitution of 1980 has problems of legitimacy. The Constitutional Commission was not representative of political spectrum of Chile because its members were handpicked by the Pinochet dictatorship. Remember one thing, it is believed that the Constitution of Chile, which was drafted during the dictatorship of Augusto Pinochet in the period of 1980, this was basically drafted by the handpicked people or by the group of people who were only selected or nominated by the dictator. That is why this constitution, which came into existence in 1980 during the dictatorship of Augusto Pinochet, did not consist all the legal legitimacy or all the provisions which could provide the equality to all the people. And that is why, in order to promote equality among all, in order to have a, you can say, a strong democracy, in order to have the strong political rights of the people, this constitution needs to be revamped. This constitution needs to be changed. Am I clear to you all? Please tell me. Am I clear to you all? Please reply to me. Please respond to me very quickly. All of you. All clear, all done? India and US is going to set up a hydrogen task force just in order to generate the clean energy. Remember one thing. According to the US-India Strategic Partnership Forum, India and US have launched a hydrogen task force under the Strategic Clean Energy Partnership. Strategic Clean Energy Partnership, which will boost the India's energy security efforts. This task force will represent industry and government stakeholders and will mainly assess technology status, study innovative policy, and make recommendation. So this task force, which is being set up by India and US jointly, just in order to boost the India's energy security efforts for the clean energy, will represent the industry and the government stakeholders who will mainly assess the technology status, study the innovative policy options and make the recommendation. This partnership will aim to mobilize, finance and speed clean energy deployment, demonstrate and scale innovative clean technologies needed to decarbonize the sectors including industry, transportation, power and buildings, and build the capacity to measure, manage and adapt to the risk of climate related impacts. So remember one thing, this US India Strategic Partnership Forum, which is being launched as a part of Hydrogen Task Force, just in order to generate and in order to promote clean energy partnership, this is going to study or this is going to provide technology advancement so that the clean energy can be emitted, the clean energy can be produced, and those sectors like industry, transportation, power sectors and the buildings where we are using those methods of electricity generation which produces lots of carbon, they need to be decarbonized. So the main objective of this partnership is basically to decarbonize those sectors which have the higher capacity of carbon emission, like the industrial sector, transportation sector, power sectors and the building. This is going to build a capacity to measure, manage and adapt to the risk of climate related impacts. This partnership will proceed along the two main tracks, the strategic clean energy partnership and the climate action and finance mobilization dialogue, which will build on and subsume a range of existing processes. Please do remember that. Now let's discuss about the International Day of Yoga. You all know yesterday, that is the 21st of June, which is also the day of summer solstice, we have observed the International Day of Yoga. Remember one thing, first time this International Day of Yoga was celebrated on 21st of June 2015 when Narendra Modi became the Prime Minister. He came up with the concept of yoga promotion. The theme of the 2021 Yoga Day is Yoga for Wellness. Please don't forget this theme. This is going to be a vital question in your examination. Yoga for Wellness is the theme of 2021. Yoga for Wellness. Please do remember that. The idea of International Day of Yoga was proposed by India during the opening of the 69th session of the UN General Assembly that was held in 2014. So remember one thing, this idea, please do remember, this idea of International Day of Yoga was first proposed in which meeting? You will say 69th session of the UNGA. This is important. 69th session of UN General Assembly, and that was proposed in 2014. The UN proclaimed 21st June as International Day of Yoga by passing a resolution in December 2014. June 21st was suggested because it is the longest day of year in Northern Hemisphere and having a special significance across the world. The 7th International Day of Yoga was celebrated by the Ministry of Culture at 75 cultural heritage locations across the country. Some places in the list of 75 sites are the Agra Fort in UP, Shanti Stoop in Ladakh, Ellora Caves in Maharashtra and Nalanda in Bihar, Rajiv Lochan Temple, Raipur, Sabarmati Ashram in Gujarat and Akhnur Fort in Jammu. So these were some of the cultural heritage locations across the country where on 21st of June, that is yesterday, the International Yoga Day was celebrated, and there were a lot of, you can simply say, the event was concluded. So which are those important places? You can say Agra Fort in UP, Shanti Stoop in Ladakh, Ellora Caves in Maharashtra, Nalanda in Bihar, Rajiv Lochan Temple, Raipur. This can be a good question. Where is Rajiv Lochan Temple? You will simply say this is the Raipur. Sabarmati Ashram in Gujarat, and Akhnur Fort, that is in Jammu. This is the basic thing. Now let's discuss some of the questions for today. Are you ready for that? Who has been appointed as the counselor in India's permanent mission in WTO for 3 years? Is it Ashok Khemka? Is it TV Anupma? Is it Ashish Chandorkar? or is it you, Shagyam? Please do answer this question ki who has been appointed as the counselor in India's permanent mission in WTO for 3 years. Please respond to me very quickly. Those people who are live, you see, only 6 people are watching right now. So I think you need to promote this session among your friends. Okay, Himanshu. What you will say? It's the Ashish Chandorkar, who has been appointed as the counselor in India's permanent mission in WTO for 3 years. You will say Ashish Chandorkar. Please do remember that. And he's the first private individual to guess this post with a 21 year of experience in his field. On which day the summer solstice, which does take place in Northern Hemisphere? Summer solstice. When sun is vertical over Tropic of Cancer. This is summer solstice. And when we will discuss about winter solstice, simply means sun is vertical over Tropic of Capricorn. This is 21st June. And winter solstice will be on 22nd December. Which of the following ministry has partnered with the NCRT for Nishtha program? Ministry of Minority Affairs, Ministry of Labor and Employment, Ministry of Tribal Affairs, and Ministry of Women and Child Development. So which among the following ministry has partnered with the NCRT for Nishtha program? And this is a, you can simply say 40-day program. This is a 40-day program for enhancement of the answer will be Ministry of Tribal Affairs. Next question is that with which country India is setting up the hydrogen task force? Next question is that with which country India is setting up the hydrogen task force? This hydrogen task force is being set up by India in partnership with which of the following country? This is the question. Is it USA? Is it UK? Is it France? Is it Germany? With which country India is setting up the hydrogen task force? US, UK, France, Germany. And this is for the generation of green energy. So you will say it's the USA. Under which theme have we celebrated the International Yoga Day 2021? The International Yoga Day of 2021 has been celebrated under which theme? Yoga se hi hoga, yoga for wellness, yoga and meditation, defeat corona with yoga, or the yoga. There are 2 permanent dislikes in my session. In every session, there are 2 permanent dislikes. And I don't know who these 2 people are who are intentionally doing this. चलो यार, उससे satisfaction मिलता है तो बिल्कुल करो आप. Yoga for wellness. Do remember that. Yoga for wellness. This is the theme for this one. Is that clear to everybody? Okay. See you at 8 AM just after this session for the Express 365 on Online Ventures Defense channel. So join me on Online Ventures Defense by Exampur at 8 a.m. for the Express 365. Thank you so much, guys, and see you tomorrow morning at 7 for this event again. Thank you so much, guys. Love you all. Bye-bye and take care. Thanks a lot, everybody.